But I think overall we really respected each other's perspective. And I don't think that conservatives are evil or they have a bad agenda. I just personally I don't agree with what they would decide for me, if and so I think that in a relationship, when you're with someone that shares different values, it would be extremely hard to be married to someone for the rest of your life. It's doable, especially if you have that type of curiosity with the other person, but I for sure would want to be with someone who shares my kind of openness as well.
Okay. And then Charlie, I think you kind of maybe already went over it, but I mean, do you have any thoughts on, do you think it's a better idea for people when it comes to relationships or marriage to, I think I have a sense of what your answer would be, but to marry someone who shares their same political beliefs and values?
Don't try to change your partner. That's a bad idea.
Agree.
Yeah, don't try to change your partner.
Aaron, you said earlier your boyfriend, you said he's not conservative, but he's liberal, and you're much further left. You're leftist. And you said you would, when it comes to perhaps people, you would be friends with someone who's maybe more conservative, so you can shift them more left.
I said that tongue-in-cheek, but
you said that. I was going to ask, have you shifted your boyfriend more left?
I wish.
Okay, so he's pretty firm in his liberalism.
He's firmly planted in his filthy liberalism, but I love him in spite of that.
I see. Okay, got it.
But we align on a lot of social issues, so if we want to create a dichotomy of social and then economic issues, I feel like the economic issues is primarily where we have disagreement, and the social issues, those tend to be, I feel like, the most polarizing and contentious. So if we had more disagreement there, we probably would not be able to be in a relationship together harmoniously. So
okay, I see.
But friends, I'm open to radicalizing them, sure.
Okay, got it. So I'm curious, who here considers themselves a feminist? Maybe just show of hands. Are you a feminist?
I don't.
That's it? Just Aaron and Pixie? Molly?
And Molly.
A little bit? Okay. All right. So Charlie, we've got some feminists here. What do you think of feminism?
I want them to define the term first, because there's no use in me giving thoughts on an abstract concept. So I'm all ears.
What's your sense? How do you define feminism?
Feminism is just simply the advocacy of equality, both social, political, economic, on the basis of all genders everywhere. So that's what feminism is to me.
Do you concur?
I concur.
Do you concur?
Concurred.
Okay.
So you want me to give a thought on that?
Do you agree with their definition of feminism?
That would probably be the most agreed upon definition. So I do believe in equality under the law, obviously. I believe in equality for representation or enfranchisement to be able to vote, obviously. But you said economic equality. That's interesting. Do you think that female models and male models should be paid the same by law?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so we should make female actresses and models be paid less because they earn about 20 times more than men.
I think when you get
women would get a pay cut. You're okay with that?
I think when it comes to creative fields like that, it's going to be very difficult to look at it on the basis of sex or gender, how you would pay somebody, because that's going to have so many more factors than simply that. But if we're talking about equal economic opportunities, for example, should a man and woman doing the exact same position at a corporate office be paid the same if they're doing the same amount of work? Then yes.
Depends on what they study, depends how long they've been there, it depends if they're equally as good at the job, it depends
all else being equal. I'm saying if all of those things are equal, can we at least agree they should be paid the same?
That's already the law. So you're not allowed to discriminate based on gender or sex based on a law passed in the 1970s.
Right, yeah.
However, what is now being tried to be passed through other movements is to try to swoop in and say, regardless of qualifications, how often you ask for a raise. So I'll ask a question. Why do you think, for example, the average male, it looks as if they earn more than an average woman in a city? Is it because of sexism or other factors?
I think sometimes implicit bias can be one factor among many, but all the things that you mentioned earlier, different qualifications, different business acumen, skills, work output, numbers of hours work could all be things that impact pay.
Right. So
studies that focus on the gaps between men and women do make note of these differences.
Okay. Skiztech, thank you for the gifted 100 subs. Charlie, do you have a
Yeah.
response?
No, I hear that. I do want to actually get back to even more of a fundamental question, and I'm sorry I didn't ask this.
Sure.
What is a woman?
Oh.
A woman is somebody who presents as our social conception of womanhood.
So you,
Acts in such a way.
so Pixie, just can you answer that question without using the word woman or womanhood?
It's because basically it would be a functional definition. So as a society, we have an understanding of what woman is.
What
It's
is
a
that?
man.
Yeah, that's basically.
I am a man.
Well then.
X,
Can you
Y,
elaborate?
XY chromosomes.
Okay, but the problem with that is that I didn't check your chromosomes before coming in here and calling you a man, and you didn't check my chromosomes before coming in here.
Or genitals.
Or genitals, calling me a woman.
So let me just play this out. So first of all, you can't give me a definition without using the word woman.
That's a functional definition. Yeah, sure. Do you know what functional definitions are?
I'm very well aware, and you should have a functional definition for the most important question in civilization,
No.
right?
Well, the
Don't
point
know
of a
if it's
functional definition, functional definitions are a definition that is by the function of something. So, like for example,
No, there's an
one
objective
equals
definition.
one is one is a function of one. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I do. So then, can you give me an objective, a functional, utilitarian, any sort of biological definition of what a woman is? Because
The problem
how
is-
can we debate feminism if we can't agree what a woman is?
I would even I feel like Pixie's definition absolutely satisfies the definition of what constitutes womanhood, but I would define it only slightly differently, which is that it's a person who performs a set of social roles that are typically associated with feminine characteristics, but not necessarily, because there are even cis women who fall outside of this, and we still consider them women nonetheless. Like butch lesbians, for example, are women that exhibit very masculine characteristics, but nonetheless society understands them to be women. So
I find cis to be a very offensive word, by the way. I don't know how you feel about the cis.
I don't-
cis
I don't
men,
thi-
cis
I don't
women.
think- I don't
I
think
think it's hate
deeply about
speech,
that.
to be honest.
I didn't mean to trigger you, Brian.
As-
I would have
as
given
a
you a trigger
s-
warning before if I had
So
known.
do you think anyone can become a woman?
Yep, but not anyone will.
Okay, so then at what point do they become a woman?
It will depend on where they are in their gender transition for the
Does
most
it
part.
does it require drugs to become a woman?
No.
Personally, I think it's a mindset. It's a spiritual energy. It's the vibe that you give off. You know, like
The vibe. Before we continue on, I want to just give everyone an opportunity
Yeah,
to
sorry.
answer
Sure, go ahead.
No, totally fine. To answer Charlie's question, I know you two had already answered. What is a woman? Starting with you, we'll go around the table. Go ahead.
Can you skip me?
We'll come back to her.
I am a woman.
That's
Yeah.
that's the best answer. That's the one that Ketanji Brown Jackson should have given in front of the Senate.
So come back to you. Or?
Yeah, come back to me. Come back to me. Let me
Sure.
brainstorm
Okay.
on
Go
that.
ahead.
Same. I'm a woman. I
What
don't
is a
know.
woman?
Like I don't.
What about you? Can I have you tilt your mic down just
Yeah,
a
of
tad?
course.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Right there.
Yeah.
I'm a woman, but I also do think that a woman is someone who identifies as a woman, and that's that.
I mean, theoretically, it's someone who's born with a womb, but this generation obviously has proven that men can turn into women. So I'm not discluding that. I still think that they should be perceived as what they're portraying themselves as. But technically, I still think trans girls, they are a version of a man, but they can still be classed as a woman, which is a bit tricky, but yeah.
Molly.
I'll say the same answer. I think what constitutes as a woman is the energy that you give off and that you want to put out into the world.
So if being a woman or a female is a mindset, can your age also be a mindset? Can you choose to be, can you just say I feel 14, which is a classifiable mental condition, by the way,
So I will say, yes, I know people that act way younger than they actually are, and they love acting way younger than they actually are. And I know people that, act way older than they are, and they pride themselves in that. And I think.
Okay, fair enough. So if a 35-year-old man claims he's 14, should we have any problem if he wants to have sex with another 14-year-old?
No. I'm not saying
No.
that you should.
Probably should have a problem, I think.
No, I'm not
Well,
saying
be
that
good
they
idea to have
should
a
be
problem.
able to have sex, but
But
they can
who's to say he's
state
not
I
14?
feel 14.
Right,
They're
but-
allowed to state that.
Okay.
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $200. The man who owns it paid himself 1.3 mil a day last year. He loves feminism.
Oh, okay.
Today men acting female can be better women than real women. Feminism has failed you. How can the patriarchy help you today?
That was beautiful, Grid One. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Given a lot.
Yeah, he's
Maximum.
so going back.
But if your identity is an energy or a feeling that can change, why would it be wrong for a 35-year-old to say he's 14? Therefore,
Because he's not.
But then how is someone who has male parts a woman if he's not
I feel
a
like
woman?
that's two different
It's
things.
Why?
different because
It's
you
a
can't go
mindset,
back
isn't
in
it?
time.
Your age isn't a mindset. I
Well,
mean, like,
but then why is your sex or your gender a mindset and your age isn't?
I don't know which one is which. One of you could probably say, but sex and
Do you
gender
agree?
is
At
different.
least acknowledge that sex and gender are two separate
That-
things.
that's what I was gonna
There are
say.
0 genders, 2 sexes, and infinite personalities.
What?
Okay.
Gender doesn't exist.
What do you mean?
Okay.
Sex does. So the parts you're born with is who you are.
How does gender not exist?
It's a 1960s clinical term, largely made out of the Academy of John
Clinical?
Money and Alfred Kinsey and many postmodern child psychiatrists, many of whom, by the way, were not really great people, but we don't have to go into that. But gender is a new term of the last 50 or 60 years.
Yeah, but it still exists.
But personalities exist. We can agree with that. Proclivities or interests or likes exist.
So
Do you-
by that definition, then if you're a woman or a man, is your energy. It is your personality.
Well, yeah, the goal, or what used to be the case, is the vast majority, 99.9% of all people, their biology and their reality, or how they viewed their reality, I should say, were in alignment. And now that's not so much the case. So people are, first of all, there's many elements to this. People are told that they can become something they can't. So they go on a very, very damaging, self-destructive pattern of medical interventions that even if you're pro-trans, you have to acknowledge that, you know, a hysterectomy at age 17 is not exactly an easy surgery.
I don't think anyone at 17 should be altering their
Oh,
body. But
No, I agree.
Yeah.
It's happening right now. Thousands of young kids across the country are getting what is called gender-affirming care, but it's irreversible
Care or
damage.
surgeries?
Both. So puberty blockers and hormone
There's
blockers.
thousands of kids that are getting hysterectomies across the United States.
No, thousands of kids are getting puberty blockers or hormone blockers or puberty blockers. Probably even more, tens of thousands.
You could stop using
And
those, though.
and as far as breast reduction surgery or hysterectomies, we don't know the number, but I'll even say it's probably only a couple dozen.